Hi, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm making a replica of this card. I've done it for a neighbour, but this one's going to be for my sister. She did ask me for a request of a lady in the Charleston era. So this is an Art Deco lady I've found on Google, because I don't have any toppers at all. So I thought I'd make this second one with you, just showing you how I've made the Octagon card myself using these dies. I've used some gold card, well, it's paper really, a textured paper. That's the image that I've printed out. I've made a sentiment for the back, cut 2 white pieces of card out of the large octagon, and they're going to be my front and back of the card. The rest I've gone down in sizes with the dies to make the backing for the topper element. And again for the back of the card where the sentiment's going to go and where she can write her message. And this is the die I've used to make this decorative edge. So when you use this die, it does leave the centre in, but I wanted just a frame. So what I've done is put another die one step down in size so that it cuts out a frame for me. Now the die sets I've used are by Sue Wilson. That one is the Noble Collection Classic Adorned Octagon, and then this one is the same Sue Wilson. It's the double stitched octagon, and all the plain stitched dies I've used comes out of that set. So I'm going to make the base card up first, and I'm going to put in a little hinge to fasten them together. So this is going to measure 2 7/8 by 1, and I'm scoring at a 1/2 inch. So I'm just going to fold and burnish that score line. With my wet glue, just pop it on one side at the moment. So making sure that I've got the raw edge to the middle of the card, I'm going to place that down. Giving that a good burnish. So popping that other glue down as well, and going to make sure that I've got the outer edge facing on the outside, so the 2 inners are together and the nice outer pieces are on the front and back. And when you stand them up on the desk like that, you know that you're going to get a good meet, that they should be identical. So giving that a good burnish as well. Then you can leave that to dry. So there you can see that's going to make a nice card. Now I've already stuck down this, I'm going to call it a topper, but I don't have any toppers whatsoever. I don't collect them at all. And because she'd asked me for this kind of a theme, all I did, I went on Google and I found this image. So I downloaded the image and I have got a graphics program, which unfortunately is no longer available. But there's loads of other graphics programs and you might already have one. So what I did, I transferred that image into my graphics program, manipulated it to the size I wanted and just printed it off. I also printed on the Happy Birthday Linda. So now I'm just popping glue down on that frame that I've made. But I'm very mindful just to put very small dots of my wet glue on that because I don't want it to splodge out. I can always tweak it if I need to add a little bit more glue afterwards, but I don't want to put a vast amount down at this precise minute. I would just like to take this opportunity to say thank you to everyone that's liked my tutorials up to now, and I have taken on board a lot of you don't want me to put the music on, and I have listened to you, and I just initially I thought, because I didn't really want to speak a lot and just concentrate on my craft, I thought it might have been a little bit boring. But obviously, you would prefer no music, so no music it shall be. So I'm just popping that frame down, and I know from cutting it previously that that should leave me with a tiny white border around the edge, which gives another illusion of another matte layer. So I'm just going around all these sides, giving it a little press, but I can feel that I need to add a little bit of glue on some areas. So getting a piece of scrap card, just putting some glue down on it, and then I can slide that little piece of card under that frame and just give it a little rub. And all that's doing is it's not a splurge of glue, it's just giving that extra little bonding. It's a great tip, it really is. Adding a little bit more glue down. Now those holes that's in the decorative edge, I used a pokey tool and got all those little gold pieces out because I didn't want it to be gold. I recut this edge again, and I just took out with the pokey tool, and I did it in white. I want a white edge around this frame. So I've cut all my bits out, and using this pick-up pencil, I'm just going to paper piece these back in. It is a bit painstaking, but it is worth it in the end. So I was using that first card as a prototype, but luckily I have a sister called Linda, and it will be her birthday in November. So I'm going to give her that card, the first card. You're just continuing to go around with those pieces. If you want to go and make a drink at this point, feel free. What I do want to tell you as well, when I'm printing anything from the computer, the paper I do like to print the images off. I use ProPrint, and it gives lovely clear images. A lot nicer than using any other paper I've found, or card for that matter. So I've kept the ovally shaped corner ones separate so that I knew where they was. I'm sorry about my head there. I hope some of you have been trying out my tutorials. I've had some lovely feedback. So if anybody's watching this thinking, oh, that's okay, I'd like to give that a go, that's brilliant. And if anyone new is watching, if you'd want to like and subscribe. Oh, and I forget to say, if you ring the bell, just click on the bell icon, you will get notified when I put a new video up. I'm so new to YouTube, it's a bit of a minefield for me. So, I'm sorry, you have to bear with me. I did cut some extra circles as well, just in case I lost a few along the way. One more row and we're done. And as you can see, those white borders around there just make that image look a little bit extra special. So I am going to put some foam tape on the back of this, just to raise it up those few mils from the base card. And it is my gigantic roll. And I do at first put my hand through, like I did on my last video, but I thought, oh, it's going to be too much of a faff. So I did start cutting little strips off after that. Just rotating. And this base card, it does measure 7 by 7. It's a lovely size card. I do appreciate that when you're in the States, you do use smaller cards than what we do. But it's like everything, it's just personal preference, isn't it? And of course, there's nothing stopping you using smaller hexagons. I keep saying hexagons, octagon. But you could do hexagons as well. Just not quite happy with that placement. Just bringing it a bit closer to me so I can see it properly. So I'm going to put the backer on now. And what I've done for this is I did the same image, but because I did it on a graphics program, I used a fade out function on it, a transparency function, because I wanted an image the same, but I didn't want it bold. I wanted it just as a highlight, so to speak. So popping that down. And you can still write your personal message underneath. So now it's time for the stability base. As always with my tenfold cards, I like a stability base. So you'll need a piece of card that's going to be the same width as the bottom. So that's going to be 2 7/8 I'm going to need, because it's nearly 3 inches and I don't want it right to the bit. So measure 2 7/8 and by 4 and score it at 1/2, 2 and 3 1/2. So it's just folding and burnishing those score lines. And popping your glue down on both edges. Obviously I'm going to use my wet glue, but you could use any glue of your choice. And the same principle I always use, doing the front first, and with that folded edge towards the front, pop it down and give it a press. Fold the rest up and then bring the back of the card up to meet the top, and it will fall in its sitting position. Same, give it a little press and a good burnish with your bone folder. And that's on both sides. So it's still a nice neat finish, even though it's not a regular shape, it won't fall over, and it looks extra special. And of course it folds flat to go in an envelope, whether you're making your own envelopes or you're buying them. Now, I have had a raid through all my little trinkets and embellishments, and I found this little gold heart, and I thought that would be lovely and tie into with the jewellery kind of a theme with the card as well. So I'm just going to pop, and I really mean a tiny bit of the glue, and it's going to be Kalal all-purpose glue. I use it for construction, if I'm building any boxes or anything, but you only need a tiny bit. So just getting my glue together and popping that bit onto the back, because it's kind of a hollow back of the heart. I'm not filling it up, I just want to go around the edges of the metal. I did have a bit of trouble with my glue. I split my bottle last night, which I decanted into. So you know what it's like when you've got a new nib and it not come out, and so I have used my old bottle, I'd got left in it. So just having the tweezers to help me with that and popping it down in that central position to the happy birthday. And that will glue onto there beautifully. Just giving that minute to set up. So I'm bringing in the prototype, which I put Nouveau drops on there. And those Nouveau drops, they're the vintage drops. It says Dusty Rose, the colour of those. But although I do like them both, I do like that heart embellishment. So thank you for watching. I'll see you again soon. Like and subscribe. Ring that bell. And bye for now.